Good evening, everyone. My name is Jackie Speier, and I am one of the county supervisors that represents the city of San Mateo, and I'm joined by my colleague. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening. I am Supervisor Lisa Gauthier. I represent District 4, which includes East Palo Alto, North Fair Oaks, a portion of Menlo Park from El Camino to Bellhaven, Redwood City, and Redwood Shores. Glad to be here.
Okay, so to kick us off, we have the mayor of the city of San Mateo here. So, Rob Newsom, would you please come forward?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to San Mateo. Before we kick it off, in addition to our hosts, I'd like to welcome all of the electeds from the city of San Mateo. We have Lisa Diaz-Nash and Councilmember Nicole Fernandez. Where did she go? There we go, in the back. From the city of Foster City, we have Councilmember Susie Niederhofer. Where is she? And Councilmember Patrick Sullivan. We also have our very own supervisor for the city for the rest of San Mateo, Supervisor Noelia Corzo. And hiding in the back, I see Redwood City Mayor Elmer Martinez. So welcome. Welcome everybody to this town hall regarding childcare. I guess I'll give you a little bit of brief history about myself. I am a married father of two teenage daughters. They're now 15 and 17. And yet I've been watching as Jackie and Lisa have been posting these roundtable conversations, and it rings very true to me that it was not very long ago that I also had these same challenges. You know, my wife and I like to think that we both make a pretty good salary, and yet we struggled very hard for many years for our kids with childcare. We had one fortunate thing in that my father and mother were retired young, and so we had support for them for a few years, and then my dad, unfortunately, had terminal cancer, and we actually had it flip on us. So instead of just having to worry about taking care of our kids, we had to help support my mom and my dad through the process. So I'm definitely not a stranger to the struggles of childcare, and I think this is a great opportunity to hear all of your concerns, and I think this is a great initiative that the supervisors are brought forward, and I am completely in support of it, as are, I think, all of my colleagues here. So welcome to the city of San Mateo, and I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a Brown Act that we have to comply with in California. So you can't have three supervisors together in a situation where they may be contemplating legislation. So, but we're going to welcome Supervisor Noelia Corzo to welcome all of you. And as Rob mentioned, she also is the major representative of the city of San Mateo. Noelia?
Thank you. I was at home today working from home, and I realized I wore my Crocs here. But for those of you that work with children, I know you're very familiar with these. You might have some yourself. I'll be quick. Thank you so much for being here. I have to say that I'm really proud that our board is so diverse and now majority women. And so while I can't be here for the rest of the conversation, I'm really excited to have more energy around childcare. I know each and every one of you has your own experiences. I can't wait for you to share them with my colleagues here, and know that we're with you in this. We all, as women, have had difficulty with childcare, have become very familiar over time with what it takes to raise children in this community, and how difficult it is to find appropriate, affordable care for our little ones. So I'm gonna hand the mic over, but thank you. I'm glad this was at the library. I have some binoculars I need to return, so have a great evening, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor. All right, so I want to thank Karen Haas-Valletta of Footsteps. Is she here? There she is. You know, Karen, stand up. I serve as the board representative on the Child Care Council, Partnership Council in San Mateo County, and Karen just completed 12 years of service to that body, and she is passionate about childcare and has for how many years? 30, 31 years. So thank you for offering footsteps and providing the childcare here tonight. In the Cedar Room, Ashley and Rena will take care of our little ones while we are discussing the childcare crisis in our county. We had 11 children, the highest number registered for today's town hall. So,
Means a lot.
yeah. And we'd like to thank Emma Gonzalez from our county's Community Affairs Department and her team for providing translation in Spanish and Mandarin. Ron Obregon, and Ruby Slover are the Spanish interpreters, and Andrew Ng and Wei Quen Tang are the Mandarin interpreters. Okay, a few logistical points. If you're taking advantage of the childcare in Cedar Room, please pick up your children immediately after the event. It's not your time to go shopping. We have a light dinner over there at the table, and please help yourself during the program. We're streaming this event on Facebook and are videotaping it. This is, as you've probably figured out, our third town hall, and it's been very helpful, I think, to both of us as the two grandmas on the board of supervisors to hear how childcare has changed through the years. San Mateo County is, as you may know, the richest county in California and the fourth richest in the country, but we have 30,000 kids living in poverty. We're also the fifth most expensive county in the nation in childcare costs. And childcare costs averages for an infant of $3,000 a month. If you have two kids, you can see how that eclipses the mortgage in most people's lives. So the stories we've heard have really been very helpful to us as we plan our strategy for how we're going to address this. I mean, my goal, speaking just for myself, is to have universal childcare in San Mateo County. New Mexico just did it, and they have a oil severance tax. Well, we have any number of other things we can tax to get us to that point. So I'm hopeful that we will recognize that we have an obligation to lower the cost of living for our community because it is just too expensive to live here. What we have now is a situation where we are losing population. Over the last 10 years, we've lost 10,000 people. Our birth rate is declining, and we have more and more evidence that families are either choosing not to continue to work outside the home because it just doesn't add up. So with that, I think what I'll do at this point is turn it over to my colleague in crime, Supervisor Gauthier, to make her opening comments.
Thank you so much, Jackie. As you all know, this is personal to me. I have a grandson who will be 5 in November. He has an unofficial title for our office because he spends a great time with us. He is our junior chief of staff in charge of aviation. If you've ever seen him, he always has an airplane in his hand. So he's taking care of aviation for us. But so I know firsthand the challenges that happen. My daughter lives with me and my grandson, they both live with me. So I know what it was like to see how she fought to have reliable childcare. And even now, we're very fortunate. He's a TK, but when classes end at 12:30 on a Wednesday and the workday isn't over, we still need someone who's going to fill the gap for him, and we've been able to do that. As you know, as a parent, there's no handbook. Nobody comes with a handbook. So navigating childcare from infancy on up can be a challenge. And I know so many families can experience and relate to the experience of trying to figure out childcare. Right now, only 31% of children ages 0 to 12 with working parents have access to licensed childcare. That means nearly 7 out of 10 children don't. Families are waiting on long lists, often from pregnancy on to get on the list, and struggling until their children are old enough for available programs, while providers are stretched thin. In my first 7 months, it's been 9 months now in office, one thing has been clear: the best policies come from listening directly to the community that's impacted by challenges. That's why we're here tonight, to hear from you, to understand about your experiences, to learn from your experiences, and hopefully those experiences will help us with our solutions. So thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
So for the city council members who are here, let me give you some stats about childcare in the city of San Mateo. The greatest need is for our youngest children, so 0 to 2, the most expensive and the greatest need. Right now, we have 2,600 children under the age of 2 in the city of San Mateo. We know that roughly 76% of their parents are in the workforce, and of those, almost half are likely to use licensed childcare. That's about 800 infants and toddlers who need care. But with only 530 licensed spaces available, 250 infants and toddlers are left without care. More than 30% of the child care demand is unmet in the city of San Mateo. And our school-age children face a similar shortage with a deficit of over 1,000 spaces. This is all data that we get through census tracts. So it's a wake-up call, I think, for all of us. Now, we're going to do a little interactivity here and use the Mentimeter, I think it's called. And let me just find my...
Get your phones out. You all know the drill. Mentimeter. And if you need Wi-Fi, we know the Wi-Fi paths, public Wi-Fi here.
Okay, so we're going to try this experiment. So if you have a phone, scan the QR code on the screen. If you can't do that, go to menti.com and type in the use code that you can see on the top of the screen, which is 99619876. Okay, are you in? We need more time. Looks like you're proficient at this. Okay, so the first question is, in what role are you here tonight? As a parent, guardian, as a child care provider, or something else? Okay, so about equal all the way around. All right, good to know. The next question is, in one word, how would you describe childcare?
I love this slide.
It's blank.
One
Okay,
word.
stressful, okay. Crucial, expensive, impossible. A blessing. Challenging, not accessible. A roller coaster.
Oh, there it is.
Expensive. This is consistent at each of our town halls. It comes up expensive. Challenging is almost as high, yes. Essential, challenging, expensive. Impossible, scarce. Okay, do we take a picture of that? All right. All right, the next question is, what kind of childcare do you use? Child care center or family child care or other? So home-based care, center-based, family, or a combination? Okay, most of you, well, it's very close, center-based and home-based. Okay. All right, and the last question is, how much are you paying for childcare per month? 0 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2, 2,000 to 3, 3,000 to 4, over 4,000. All right, that's very consistent with what we've seen at the other town halls. And it makes the case. It's too damn expensive. So we're going to see what we can do to reduce those costs. Now, we want to hear from you. So we've kind of warmed you up with what we are doing. I can tell you that this is going to be a many-pronged approach to dealing with the crisis. And we certainly want your input as to what is most important. So the microphone is now yours.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I am a mother of 3, but I'm also a child care provider. Okay, so my name is Michelle. Hello, everybody. I am a mother of 3. My children are older, but I'm also a child care provider. I started out as a preschool teacher so that I could be home, more with my children, and that led me to opening my own home daycare. So I am licensed since my daughter was a newborn. And that was more than 22 years ago. And right now,
Just hold the mic because you're
yeah.
bouncing around a lot.
So right now, myself and other daycare providers in our area are having a hard time filling our spots. And I don't know what the problem is. I have a dedicated space. I have a Facebook page. I have Winnie.com. I have done Craigslist. I posted in parents looking for childcare, and you get ghosted. And I'm not charging that much.
Can you tell us what you're charging?
For an infant, I charge, and for preschoolers as well, $1,800 a month.
It's really not expensive.
And I have a dedicated space. I have pictures, and people, I have had a few people come through. I don't know, maybe I should charge more because I think they're getting better quality. But the thing is, I have experience, and I'm doing a good job. I do arts and crafts with them. I teach them. I have, the ABCs on the wall and everything to teach them and to play with them. If you've seen it, you would go, oh my gosh, you should be full. But people ghost you, and for some reason, I don't know if they think that going to a center is better because they trust them more. It's like, but you know what? I've gone through the fingerprint background check, first aid, CPR, and all those things, and I keep my ratios low. I'm licensed for 8, but I usually take, like anywhere from 4 to 6. And it's not just me. I have another friend of mine. She has the same issue, but she's in a different county now. And people will say, I'll be there in 5 minutes, and then they don't even show up. So I don't know who's paying $3,000 for childcare, but come to my place. It looks nice. I have experience, taking care of kids, not just in a daycare setting, but as a mother. And, I have the backyard. I have the space dedicated. I have the toys. I have age-appropriate, things for the kids to do. But I don't understand where and how some of these places, unless it has a big room like this, but I just don't understand. She and I were talking about it, and I was like, what are we missing here? What am I missing that I can't get more people to come in? I've responded to almost every person in these groups that say they're looking for childcare. And I say, hey, check me out. This is my place. This is my name. This is where I'm at. Nothing.
How
Zero.
many slots do you have open right now?
Well, right now I have 1 child. The other one just left to go to preschool. And I had 2 other ones that were with me, and I had to take an extended vacation for, medical reasons, just the one time. And I don't take that much time off. And they were aging out anyway, so it was inevitable. But trying to fill the spot is really difficult. And again, I say it's not just me. It's other daycare providers that I know in my area.
Are you in San Mateo?
I'm in San Bruno.
You're in San Bruno.
Yes, and I'm easy access to 101 and 280 right off El Camino Real. I'm not in an apartment, I'm in a house. And I have the whole downstairs, bonus room area set up. And I've got, it looks just like a preschool. If I showed you my pictures, you'd go, oh, well, that looks nice. That looks nice. But I don't know what I'm missing. And the thing is,
you're not alone, because at the Child Care Partnership Council that meets monthly, the family daycare providers, quite a few of them have spoken up and said, I've got openings now that aren't being filled. So one of the things we're looking at is creating a portal that will be run out of the county. We will fund it. That will put all of the child care providers in every zip code and all the specifics about how much they charge, how many vacancies they have, do they work with children with special needs, do they address the issues of asthma and other conditions. So that's what we're working on right now. And that will hopefully help, because it'll be a one-stop shop for every parent to be able to go to. And we think we can actually get it up and running in a pretty quick way. So,
well, here's the thing. If we don't fill our spots, we're going to close. I can't keep going on like this. We do live in an expensive area, and I try to meet the parents in the middle. And the thing about home daycares is that you can negotiate in a roundabout way with families to make it affordable for them, but it also allows me to have an income. And if it doesn't get filled, then we're going to have to close our doors. And then there's really going to be a crisis, because they're going to have to go to centers that aren't going to have any space, because with infants, you can only have so many. You can't just have a lot. You can have more preschoolers, but an infant is any child under the age of 2. And for me, if I have any child over the age of 2, then that means I can only have 2 infants. So if I have 4 infants is the max I can have, but I can't have any other children at all. And so a lot of us daycare providers are also asking that the state change the age of infants to 18 months. Yeah.
That was actually brought up at the last session we had, and that, along with the fact that family daycare providers don't get paid for subsidized childcare till 6 weeks after.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm listed with the 4 Cs. I'm listed with, obviously licensing and every person that I can think of. So I'm just really not sure what I'm missing in filling these spots. It's not like before.
No, I think we're hearing the same thing. Would you share your information with Connie in the back so we could follow up? We would love to figure out how we can help right now. You have spots that are available right now.
Oh, yeah.
There are people who are looking for childcare right now. Let's try to work on what we can do right away to be helpful. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
yes, please, come on up.
First, thank you so much. This is so needed for this county and for so many families. So I really appreciate that. I'm a grandma, and I have a 4-year-old granddaughter, and I appreciate the comment about after-school care. Everybody's struggling to figure out, what do I do with the child? How do we get them from one daycare school to another location? So there's lots of things that need to happen. And I also appreciate the sandwich generation comment, because my mother's 90, my granddaughter's 4, everybody's trying to help everybody. In this county, everybody has to work and kind of get things in order. A couple comments I wanted to make. I realize in helping my family look for childcare, I've probably experienced what many of these families with children have experienced. One, contacting an organization like the 4 Cs is helpful. But when you have a child with special needs, and my granddaughter is autistic, it makes it all the more worse. Because then you have to go to a special list. That list is very limited. And then you call and you get daycare saying, we don't have the resources, we just can't handle the child and basically, whatever the situation is. So it makes it really hard for parents to work and now try to find care for children that have the special needs. I can appreciate, the Lisa's no, not Lisa, I'm sorry. It was Noella's comment about, being a mom and struggling, but my son is also struggling. He's changed his schedule from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. to try to pick her up from school, to get her to her ABA therapy, to get her to speech therapy at night, all while my daughter-in-law is working full-time to try to, make ends meet. I think the low-income families need resources, and they're blessed to have them. I think our middle-class families are really the ones struggling because they're making it, and they're making it so they don't qualify for these other lower-income benefits, basically. So then they have a discussion, do one of us quit so we can qualify for all of the benefits that the families that have only one income and it's low, so they can get what they get? So, I appreciate all the comments because it's true. In this county, what do? Do you both keep working? If you're middle class, you're not all, in the upper class professional income. That's just the struggle. Like, how do you make it work? What's the balance? I'm wondering if there's any, I know there's a lot of qualitative results about 0 to 2 is, the greatest need, and there's 67% parents in the workforce. Has anyone looked at or analyzed the special needs side of it? And I think that would be really helpful. If you want to fill your daycare, offer special needs services. It's really, really important that these resources are available and are known. Last comment, 4Cs is wonderful. You call them, you'll get a list. You'll call and quickly realize a lot of the daycare centers will say, we don't have the capacity or the ability or the resources to help the special needs. There's a different list for that. You get a new list, and it's a third of the providers, and you call them, and it's the same situation. Oh, I can't do that anymore. I have one. It's all I can handle. And I understand. I've got bruises all over my arm from my granddaughter. So, it's tough. I appreciate looking at this. I'd like to encourage, a special needs focus if possible. I'm here because I want to try to understand and help. Of course, they're both doing daycare, and I think she has speech therapy tonight, so couldn't be there. But anyway, thank you all. It really feels like everybody definitely is fully aware of the problems, and that is the greatest gift, I think, at this point, because now, hopefully, there will be some solutions. So,
Thank you very much for sharing your challenges. And you're the first person that's actually spoken about special needs children, but we recognize that is it's a growing population. At the Partnership Council, Ability Path now has a representative, and so we're going to really do a deep dive there as well.
I think we were looking, and I think it's 1 in 31 children were diagnosed autistic based, on the CDC results in like 2022. And I know most everyone I talk to now, everybody, I feel like there's so many children that are being diagnosed autistic. And if there's incentives that are being given to San Mateo County daycares or providers to expand daycare or to grow or start daycare, maybe those same incentives can be encouraged for the special needs somehow. I don't know. Maybe there's a special task force or something that comes up with this, these types of solutions.
Do you work through Ability Path? Do you know about Ability Path?
Been through that since she was 2. That's when you can start the program. Those services end at, I think it's 3 or 4. It's one of those. She's 4 now, so she can do the local school district offers services. But even there's an after-school program on site that is private, but I guess does get some funding. And even they said, we can't deny her, but we highly, 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 highly encourage you find other care. Because she has ABA therapy come in. They're like, we can't support that therapy while we're here. So it's not, definitely not, something that,
Okay.
it's just
Well,
not easy. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
Hi. Hi, my name is Neely Norris. I'm the head of school at the Carey School. We are just down the road from here in San Mateo. And we are a preschool through 5th grade school and nonprofit. We have, for a long time, had a preschool program that was relatively small. And we've been hearing, just like so many people in the room, about the need for additional childcare spots in the county, in the city. We have far more interest than we have spots for. And so our board has identified that as really a goal for us, both an opportunity to expand our enrollment, but really to connect more with the area and the city of San Mateo. We subsidize over 10% of our spots in our program. So we're one of the only programs that offers financial aid in the area for our families. And we're looking to increase from being a 3-year-old through 5th grade program to being a 2-year-old through 5th grade program, and going from offering about 40 spots in our preschool to 75. And we're trying to do that by purchasing a space right near our main campus to build a dedicated preschool program, an early childhood center that really brings high-quality preschool programming with a full daycare hours that would allow 2-parent working households and households that have parents that need to work a full work day to get that high-quality programming for their children. We've run into some challenges with the process. We've worked closely with the city of San Mateo and had a lot of great conversations, but we've recently run into challenges. There's a few neighbors in our area that are a little wary of having additional childcare happening in their neighborhood, and that seems to have sort of stymied our process. And unfortunately, as a nonprofit, we have very limited resources to put towards this project, and we're coming up on what is going to be the end of a timeline for us. We have an option agreement to purchase the property, and we've only locked in this price through the end of the calendar year. So we're looking for any help that we can get to try to move our process along to really be able to bring these childcare spots to the city. And I think one of the things that I have questions about is around, we know that childcare is a huge need. We also know that it's a priority at the city, at the county level, at the state level, and yet there seems to be a lot happening to help housing projects move faster, but there's not a lot of support at the city level, at least, to support projects for childcare to move faster through processes like CEQA and Planning Commission, things like that, where trying to do some really complicated, expensive things on a really tight budget that we think ultimately benefits our community quite a bit. So just want to kind of put that out there and would love to hear any thoughts you have.
Thank you. Can you mention your program again?
We're the Carey School in San Mateo.
And for the Carey School, I see 3 council members from San Mateo
I
in the room that can be helpful.
Partners.
But it's so when you're thinking about doing work around households, like reaching out and having that conversation and preparing them for what it means. I think some people are fearful of traffic, but when they really understand that they're making a difference, they're allowing families to stay engaged and able to participate in the innovation economy by having childcare in the area. Maybe that'll make a difference. But
That's a
so
great point.
San Mateo
Trying
County.
to have some neighborhood meetings, so that's a great point, though, being able to direct them.
We might remind them is that if people cannot work in our communities, they won't be paying payroll taxes, which means Social Security will be reduced in terms of its benefit. For some of those folks, that might be persuasive as well.
That's a very helpful point as well. Thank you. Yeah.
All right,
Well,
thank
I
you.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Daycare provider. So when my grandson went to a home daycare, that's where he started first. Then he moved to school. And when he was going to the school for the first time, he would tell his mom, no, I want to go to business school. So his home daycare was his business school, and he didn't want to go to regular school. So those business school for little people, maybe we can change that name and make them think they're doing something really big. Yeah, now he's he's moving on up. Who's going to be next? Because I know there's a lot of stories. Come on up to the mic. We can line up to the mic. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Help us help you by telling your story.
All right.
Hi. Hello. I'm Virginia. I'm from Argentina.
Going up a little bit so that everyone can hear you. That's perfect.
Hi. I have run a home daycare family childcare facility for the last 8 years, first in Redwood City and now in San Carlos. I was, well, still are, one of those providers who charge a lot of money for the services because I live also in a very expensive part of the city and I want to provide for my own family. Right now, I'm in a point that I need my own space, so I plan to open a facility outside my home, but I want to explore the idea of being able to provide free childcare and how would that look like. I have been part of several co-ops, one in Menlo Atherton and in San Carlos because I have 2 children. And I always wanted to be involved in their education. And as a teacher too, an educator, I wanted to improve myself. And I have learned that when you have the family as part of the process, everything sort of works out in a way that whenever there's a challenge, you can talk about it. Whenever families need support, they can have that support in school. Children feel supported because their parents are there, or caregivers or grandparents, whoever is there for representing the family. So I have this idea, and I haven't really put anything together as far as a business or proposal, anything serious, but I wonder what New Mexico is doing. I wonder how that can be replicated here. But I do feel that having the families more involved in what it is to be a parent and how much you need to be there for your community, really. So that's why I'm here, trying to think that through.
So to answer your question about how do you get universal childcare, all it takes is money, right? And
I disagree.
well, I was being a little facetious, but one of the ways we're going to look at trying to move towards a universal child care like there is in New Mexico is by looking at a half-cent sales tax. Now, a half-cent sales tax would generate $130 million a year. That wouldn't cover all the children in San Mateo County, but it would be a dent, and over time we could build upon that. There's also a gross receipts tax that could be imposed on businesses that benefit greatly from that. And there's also an idea to do what's called tri-share, which is where the employers participate, pay 1/3, the government entity pays 1/3, and then the family pays 1/3. So it reduces the costs to the families by 2/3, which is pretty effective. If Karen, are you there? Can you wave your hand? Karen has been in this business, as she said, for over 30 years. And I think at one point you ran a co-op, did you not? No, you did not. But maybe, would you be willing to talk so that maybe you can give her some advice? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Connie Zhu, and I'm the community service coordinator with Unitedly. I'm also an immigrant myself, and I raised 2 young children in the county. So I use a combination of childcare. When I raise my 2 kids, my mom has been one of my biggest supports, and but here in the county, at least like 33% of the residents are Asian. When I start looking for childcare, it was very hard. And then even though I speak English, I need to also think about when my mom pick up my kids, can she communicate, right? And my daughter has food allergy. That's something I need to make sure that we have information and communication for the whole family and with the childcare providers. And I serve a lot of family and childcare educators also have challenge with accessing resources in Chinese. And one of my providers shared with me, she will have to use Google Translate to communicate with people who are helping her to get childcare resources. So I'm just hoping our county will be able to provide more support to that will reflect our families and childcare educators' need and reflect the culture. Thank you.
Thank you. You should know that there are a number of family daycare providers that are Chinese owned and operated, and they participate in the Child Care Partnership Council. And if you are looking for, your children are now older, okay. So, okay. Okay.
All right. My name is Harrison. I live in Foster City. I don't have any kids yet. We were expecting a baby in December, so we're looking for childcare right now. So maybe some of this can be of use to you or some of the other daycare providers, but I thought I'd give a little bit about kind of my process. So I don't look on like any search engine or anything. I just look on Google Maps for daycares. I just type in daycare, and whatever shows up, I click on it. I see if it has a website, a phone number, and an email, and that's how I try to find out information about them. And a lot of the home cares don't have any of that. It's just kind of an address listed blankly, and I don't know how I'm supposed to find them or find any information. A lot of the ones that have phone numbers I've called, probably like 20 plus, and I've got maybe 3 or 4 answers. Of those, none of them accept infants. So that's why my wife and I have only looked at the larger daycare centers. And of that, in Foster City, there's only one. So we're probably going to send our kid, not far, but in San Mateo, and ideally we could keep him in the same city as where we live. And then one of the big issues we've also had is, we both work, and I commute about a little less than an hour each way. So finding a good way for one of us to drop him off and the other to pick him up, when a lot of the home cares only have like 8-hour days, and the daycare centers have, 9 or 10 or sometimes even 11 hours.
Actually, that's not true. Many of the family daycare are much more flexible. So that would be.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. I'll take plenty of these. We're still
Any
looking.
other
So
business cards you want to share?
yeah,
Um,
sitting right over there. All right, you can. Okay. All right. Yeah.
all right.
Going once.
You came to the right place tonight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but so I haven't been able to talk to very many of the home cares, like I said, but the ones that I've talked to, it's much more limited. So that's kind of been one of our issues. And then let me see. Good hours accepts infants, and then a place that a kid can stay until he's in public school would be ideal if he can stay in the same place the whole time. And yeah, You said before that San Mateo has been losing residents, and it's definitely been a consideration for us because we're from out of state. We think about it all the time. It is tough. So
We want you to stay here, so we're going to help you both.
and we want to stay. So
Okay, all
Thank you.
right. Thank you, that was very helpful.
Hello, good evening. Haley Village, It Takes a Village, Children and Family Services.
He's now a member of the Child Care Partnership Council.
Yes, I am, thank you. I always type mine up so that I don't fail. At the first town hall meeting, I spoke as a family child care educator. Today, I speak to you as both an educator and a parent who navigated the system 28 years ago when my now adult children were little. My ex-husband and I had to pay $1,000 a month for infant care back then, and that to us was expensive. We had to prioritize it because we were working parents. We needed to find care that supported both our children's development and for us to be able to stay employed. I didn't set out to become a family child care educator, but this path found me. During one of the most challenging chapters of my life, while navigating a divorce, recovering from a serious health issue, a fellow PTA member from my older daughter's school approached me and said, "We're having a hard time finding infant care." They knew that I'd had over 20 years experience working in the nonprofit realm with children, and that led me to become a FFN, which is a family friend and neighbor. I started looking after their child, and pretty quickly within the neighborhood, people were saying, "Do you do daycare? Do you look after children?" I will celebrate 20 years next year as a family child care educator and 40 plus years in the children and family services. I'm an advocate for children, families, and fellow educators. I'm a large family child care provider approved for 14 children through the state of California. That means I can care for 4 infants, which in our category, 4 infants means under the age of 2. In other states, when a child turns 12 months or 13 months, they're no longer an infant. We don't have that ability here in California, so that's why some of the providers, when parents call, we're capped as a large license. You can't have more than 4. I can have 8 children over the age of 2, and I can have 2 school-age children, which I tend to never do because just kind of the mix for ages up to 5 is pretty good for us. As a small business owner, I actually have 3 employers. As a small business owner, I carry payroll, workers' comp, operational funding, which is all through parent tuition. Private parents are all my clientele at this point. There's no cushion, there's no safety net, just the hope that families can afford to stay. For most of my career, I've had a 2-year wait list. Families found me through word of mouth, neighbors, co-workers, relatives. But last year, everything changed. UPK implementation disrupted the care. I lost 6 children between August and January. Families used to stay until they turned 5, but now with TK, they leave at 4. And with the school systems absorbing the toddlers and infants, what's happening is the schools are now opening up for the aftercare programs to take the 2-year-olds. So those of us that had siblings are now moving to the public school to make way for the UP mixed delivery system. At a recent meeting just this Saturday, I had a teacher. The CACFP meeting is California Adult and Child Food Care Program. I'm a mentor and member of that system. We had several teachers on, and one of the teachers said, "I didn't go to school to change diapers and supervise naps. Our classrooms are not equipped for children. They're not thriving. The teachers are overwhelmed, and they're walking away from the system because they didn't sign up for that." Too many decisions are made without us at the table. I'm asking for 100% transparency, for family childcare to be present at every meeting, every discussion with full representation. We're not just data points, we're not just backup care, we are foundational. When COVID-19 pandemic hit, we were the invisible essential workers behind the essential workforce, caring for the children while the world shut down. And now, just a few short years later, our profession is under attack. We also need to recognize that private families need help too. Many earn just above the threshold to qualify for subsidies, but with the Bay Area, one of the most expensive places to live, even 2-parent families require assistance. Funding family childcare is a way to support all families fairly. Let's get creative. Let's look to other cities and other countries that invest in childcare, where it's truly childcare for all and systemic barriers do not stand in the way. Let's build a system that honors developmentally appropriate care, cultural responsiveness, and economic sustainability. We need equity, we need inclusion, and we need action. Thank you.
everyone. I've talked to my coworkers about this, but I've never come to a town hall like this, so I'm very grateful that you are both providing this venue for everyone. My kids are 4 years old and 8 years old. The older one is at College Park within the San Mateo Foster City School District, and then the younger one is in a home daycare. I feel like there is a disconnect, assuming that childcare needs to be paid childcare. So as a woman and a mother, the childcare really is should be shared by the parents as well as childcare providers. And I think in our society, there is a emphasis on women, men, parents, whoever is a childcare provider, parental figure, needs to be working outside of the home to afford childcare, and we're offloading the childcare responsibilities to childcare providers, which are very qualified, and I really love everyone here. I think as a county, we should be innovative and push for more flexible working arrangements. So, perhaps having core hours where we encourage, private sector as well as public sector, if they're going to be doing in-person work, to have core hours that align with school schedule. So part of the thing that I learned after becoming a parent is that when I go to work at 6:30 in the morning, I don't see my child when they wake up. I don't get to do their hair. It's too early for me to prep their lunch. And then when I get home at 5:30 or 6, I see them for an hour, and then they have to go to bed. And when I was breastfeeding, I would have to wake up in the middle of the night to pump and then work because I was too tired when I got home to continue my work because I was commuting. The cost of commuting is not just taxing for the person who has to do it, but it really impacts my child's life. So now that my older one is in public school, my younger one, who goes to daycare at a home daycare, I've made arrangements for her to only go to school Monday to Thursday because my work, fortunately, allows me to do a 4-10 schedule. So what I've realized is that my child, who's 4, is not close to me because my partner, my husband, is the one who wakes them up in the morning, feeds them breakfast, gets them ready for school, and drops them off. He's also the person who picks them up when I have to work in the office. And I'm just not close to, especially the younger one, because for the older one, I was able to stay home and be with her through COVID. And so the relationship is just not the same when you try to be close to your child only on the weekends, because that's all that you're able to do. I'm quite fortunate that my husband has the flexibility to do that. And I hope that as a county Board of Supervisor could recognize that not everyone is as lucky as me who has a husband who has flexibility. And I just think if the private sector can be so flexible, why can't the public sector be as well? And why can't the county encourage that so that childcare is not only passed on to childcare providers, but parents can also be childcare providers as well. And not just on the weekends and not just at night, but throughout the day. I don't know if you saw, but there was a little girl who came in the middle, and she has really nice head of brown, long hair that's healthy, that's not thinning like mine. And I just think if we could just promote some flexibility for working parents, then maybe I could do her hair and make her lunch and see her when she comes home and make her a snack and then go back to working. That would be great for this society as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are beautiful words.
Thank you for sharing that story. I don't know where you work, but hopefully you will go to that job and say, my family matters, because I understand they're only small ones. You don't get to redo it.
I am so glad that you made that comment because I work for the county.
What?
So you could see how lucky I am. I am lucky enough to work for the county that I live in.
Now we have to because even when I set my schedule, I'm a supervisor, but my grandson, it is important for me to walk him to school in the morning.
Yes.
So on most days, I make sure that I set my schedule so that he can scoot to school. Yeah, you don't have that luxury to do that, but understanding like families matter.
When I used to live close to now the Fiesta Gardens, so I used to live close to MLK Center in San Mateo. Now I've moved to unincorporated San Mateo, but I used to be able to walk my daughter to school in the morning through COVID because she went to the Turnbull preschool, and I was able to do that through COVID, which I just loved, and now I can't do it for my younger one.
So, what department do you work in?
I don't want to say. Are you going to look me up?
Yeah.
I can say I work for HR,
Oh,
which is one of the flexible departments that allow for a 410 schedule. I really
we'll work on that.
I really hope.
It's a good challenge for
I'm
us
so
to work
glad
on.
I came, and thank you so much again for this venue.
Oh yeah, they're going to hear it.
Hello, my name is Elena. I'm working in San Mateo Adult School, and actually, I don't have a childcare problem personally, but we have a lot of students from low-income family who cannot afford childcare, and I'm hearing a lot of complaint. We cannot continue your school. We cannot take English classes because we need to stay with our child. And I would like to have some resources how we can navigate our students to help them receive a child care, to help them learn English and be integrated in a life and society. Thank you.
I'm from East Palo Alto, so most of our meetings, we made sure that if we want parents to participate in meetings, not only do you provide a meal, but you have to have childcare and also. So looking at those programs, how can we build childcare during those hours? But I don't know where your classes are, but maybe there's an opportunity to include those two things to make sure that parents are learning English and continue to work as well.
Thank you.
Your program is through the adult education program,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, we are San Mateo Adult School, and unfortunately, because we are adult school, we cannot allow parents to come with children to school, and that prevents them to come to school to learn English because they cannot leave their children alone at home.
So that's a conundrum for sure, but it's one that we will explore with the adult education program and see how the county can, be a part of the solution. David, you're, I see here, do you have any thoughts through 4Cs? In a setting where there's ESL going on? You should identify yourself for everyone so that they know who you are.
Yes, thanks. I'm David Fleischman. I'm the Executive Director of 4Cs of San Mateo County. And we help family childcare to get established and help them with business support. I want to say a little bit about our child finding, but that's not for this moment. If there are resources, we will help connect you to them. There is the facilities program under Build Up, but there's nothing specifically to earmarked for this right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm Angel Barrios with Izzy Early Education. We're the Head Start program in San Mateo County, and so our focus is to serve and provide free subsidized childcare for all infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. So I was just thinking about the adult school. Like, we have some partnerships all over the county, and so maybe we need to deepen our partnership in San Mateo, the city of San Mateo, and so we have openings, and we don't like to have openings in San Mateo. So and also there is the city, the San Mateo School District also provides a state preschool subsidized program just down the street, I think, from the adult school, which is on Turnbull. So I think there's like lots of resources. We'll reach out to the adult school for sure. And then also for the family daycare providers, our organization works very closely with the Family Child Care Network. And so we contract with family child care providers, and we guarantee the children. So we guarantee the children to the providers. As long as you want to work with Early Head Start, with our program, we have the children that are waiting, and a lot of families in our program choose family child care because of the flexibility of wanting to be in a smaller setting. They want their infants to be really cared for in a smaller setting in the flexible hours. So if there's any family child care providers here this evening that's interested in
That have openings.
we have openings. We are looking for 2-year-olds. We're looking for. It's amazing that we
Right, business cards.
So yeah, and if you're any program, a family daycare or a center that's looking for teachers, we are part of a teacher pipeline program called Early Spark, and so we can place teachers at your centers if you're looking for any workforce. So just want to. We're from Izzy Early Education. It's a Head Start program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's nice to see you all here again today. I had this whole thing that I was going to read and talk about, but I think I want to just address some of the comments that some of the parents and providers are talking about. For those of you that don't know me in the audience, my name is Liz Scully. I am currently the executive director of the San Mateo County Family Child Care Organization, a nonprofit organization aimed at connecting the family child care providers in the community with each other, and then the broader resources that we have here. And I want to first off thank the providers that have come and showed up time and time again for these last 3 town hall meetings and really shared your experiences and the challenges that you are facing. It's not easy to be here. You've worked 10, 12 hours a day. The parents also that are here, you probably just picked up your children, you've closed the door, and now you're here. So we really acknowledge the fact that you have come and support you. But what I want to say is, Michelle, so I am Michelle. I am Michelle. I was a family child care provider here in San Mateo County for 17 years. And I no longer am a family child care provider. I had to close my doors 2 years ago. I took children 2 and above. I had a staff of 3. As time has progressed, I have not received enough inquiries to be able to afford to keep my business open. During COVID, I took out an EIDL loan to make sure that I could continue to pay my staff. So I'm still paying on a loan, and my business is closed so that I could keep my staff, and the children didn't come back, and then I was forced to close. And I don't want to see Michelle close. I don't want to see all of these other providers who have been in this space for 20 plus years close their doors. we have to think about how we're supporting the community and the providers that are here. We have a lot of providers, family childcare providers, that would love to help your students, right? They have flexible hours. They can offer the type of care probably that you are looking for in these culturally and linguistic appropriate spaces. So again, I just thank you all for being here. Thank you for providing these spaces for us. As a provider here for 25 years, this is the first time I ever remember there being a time that we have come together as a community, parents, providers, advocates, to talk about the challenges and to figure out some goals and some ways to help us. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh. What did he say? All right, David, you're not.
Okay, so in terms of funding to start places, I gave that non-answer, and I wish I had something better to say. In terms of finding childcare, well, first of all, I want to echo Liz's comments about how much we appreciate the fact that attention is being paid to this. These problems with the industry have existed long before COVID, long before TK, but they have reached an inflection point that it's a breaking point. So the fact that you are here going to bring money to the problem, and money is going to be required for the solutions, is really, it's great. And it's absolutely what's needed. I hear you talk about the portal. I look forward to the portal. In the meantime, I do want you to know that at 4Cs right now, in real time, you can find any licensed family child care or any licensed center. You can do so on our website. You can do so by emailing us, by calling us and speaking to us. But on our site, you can have your search as wide as any program in San Mateo County or filtered by family childcare home or center, by age, by schedule, including the hours, by location. There is also filters that have special needs and specify the kind of special needs experience, and yes, the list will be smaller. And if you are looking for a place with that serves children with special needs, we will do extra vetting of providers to make sure they are appropriate. We will never say, go to this provider or that provider. Any family that comes to us identifies their needs, and we give them a comprehensive list of every licensed program that meets their needs. We do not take people off that list. We don't put people on that list. We don't put them in a special order or bold. It is completely family choice. We have resources that can help people have information and make informed choices. But that all exists, including vacancies, in real time. So in terms of finding childcare, that those resources are available now, and like the CCPC URL, it should be easier. It should be more direct. We should have the old easy button for those of you of a certain age. Remember those commercials. But anyway, I just wanted to say, in terms of finding care, that is available now. And Erica Ramos, who is our family eligibility manager, may or may not speak, but also reminded me, please apply for our subsidies, because we are enrolling right now, and we spoke about this at East Palo Alto. It is by lowest income first, but if you are at an income level that we are able to enroll, then you should have a subsidy to pay for the childcare that we can hopefully also help you find. So I appreciate the time. Thanks.
All right, Karen, thank you.
I'm Karen Hasfaletta. I'm the Executive Director of Footsteps Childcare. We're a little unique because we have blended funding. We serve infants through middle school. We're in San Mateo, Belmont, and Redwood City. We have two pretty new preschools that opened during the pandemic, one in San Mateo and one in Redwood City. One that serves 2 and up in San Mateo, and infant toddler preschool in Redwood City, and we have openings in both of them, a lot of openings. We're getting ghosted, just like you are. And before the pandemic, for my other preschool, we had a 2-year wait list. So something's a huge disconnect. I know that marketing is an issue for us, and I'm looking into that. But we hear about the crisis, that there's not childcare, but yet there's very good family childcare homes, there are very good daycares that have openings, even Izzy has openings, and we're not getting the kids. We're having families sign up for tours and not show up. We've seen it all lately, so I'm not sure what the answer is, but I just wanted to say that it's not just the family childcare, it's the centers too that have openings and are not full. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for babysitting our little ones tonight. All right, anyone else? Really appreciate your participation tonight. This was a really enriching discussion, and all of your experiences are going to be folded into what we do. I guess I'm a little flummoxed by the fact that we have openings and yet there's such a great need. And I'm worried that we're at more than past the inflection point where families have just decided to leave, and that's why you're seeing these openings. We still have one more person who wants to speak. Okay, I was about to wrap, but go ahead.
Well, my name is Connie Ramirez. I am the owner, janitor, lunch lady, booger cleaner, holder, everything of Teeny Hearts in Home Childcare in Redwood City. And I just wanted to answer your question. My colleagues of daycare and then the rest here that are accepting kids 2 and older, because remember, in Redwood City, for in-homes, children are considered babies until 2-year-old, right? So the district had the great idea of taking children 2 and older.
In
So
Redwood
the
City?
school district, yes. That's what is happening. Somehow I found a flyer, and it says now enrolling children 2 and older in preschools. And there is Roosevelt, Adelante, Selby Lane, a bunch of schools, Staff, a bunch of schools that are accepting kids that age, that young. So they are taking them to school, to classrooms.
And so the education is free then?
Yes, for them. Yes, that's what is happening. That's where there is the centers can take kids as young as 18 months, right? Head Start, ECs, all those can take kids as young as 18 months. And they're also subsidized by the government. So if the family is low income, they take their kids there. So now we have this where ECs is in a Head Start is in the same building as the school, right? So now families are saying, okay, what happened to Haley? Now I can take my child to school, and then right next door I have the chance to have my other kid here, and everything is for free. So they leave us with almost nothing. And that's why we have all these open spots, because we can only take care of 4 infants. And then the kids that are leaving, our competition, per se, can take kids 18 months and older. They're considered toddlers at a center. And then now we have the preschools taking kids as young as 2 years old. So now we can only take infants, and we can only take 4. So when a parent calls asking for a spot for an infant that we could actually take, we can't take him because we are at our cap with 4 infants. So that's what is happening. So we're, I don't know if we can take this to the state. I know there is a advocacy group that is trying to fight to lower the age, because our requirements from the state are very high, and the state comes and checks on us. And if I could take only babies, 8 kids, I will do it. I will not be having this headache of, now I have to prepare a activity for little ones, because mommy and daddy wants at least their fingerprints or something on a little paper, and then yes, that's like their little hands, or their little feet or something. They want to. They see all the older kids' projects hanging, and then the little cubby of the baby is empty. It's not fair. But now I have to prepare all these activities, and also the food, and also storage the formula, and also teach, the letters, the sounds, and all these things. Talk about our Hispanic heritage, is Mexican Heritage Month. We celebrated today, and we have to do all these activities with the kids. But if I could take infants, I can sing Tinkle Tinkle Little Star all day long. It's easier for us. So life will be much easier if we could.
So it sounds like, the goal, of course, is to have a universal child care program. So I think we've got to applaud Redwood City for wanting to take children as young as 2. But then that means all of the other child care providers need to be in a position where they can take the infants and be properly compensated as well. So you're giving us a lot of work to do, actually. Yes, you can get in line.
Hi, I'm Kimmy Rosas, and I've been doing childcare for 8 years. I'm small daycare. I'm owning my home, but my problem is to go large, is the funding. Because I'm self-employed, the banks, mortgage companies won't finance. So if there's some kind of funding that available so I can get a loan to do an expansion.
So you want to expand your family daycare home, or you want to create a center?
No, my home. So if I could add on one space off of my dining room area, I would have, I would be able to take in more kids. Because I'm full right now. I have 4 infants under 2, and that's all I can take. So if there's any funding.
Well, I mean, there isn't any funding presently, but there is an interest in trying to make money available to increase slots by creating infrastructure dollars. So we're looking at how much that would be, and then the application process. But there is an obvious recognition that we need to do more of that.
I'm Victoria Manihan. I'm a daycare provider, and I want to speak directly to the parents here that want to enroll their kids, telling them that home daycares versus centers, we are like a very small, but our homes are like a house for the kids. We provide everything, we provide meals, we provide everything for the kids, and we are not different than daycare. In other hands, we are not different than daycares. I feel that there is a rush from the parents as soon as the kids get 2, they are taking them to a preschool. I keep telling the parents, I'm doing my curriculum with the kids. I do a lot of activities with the kids. I want to tell the parents that we are teachers. We are not babysitters. We are the teachers as the teacher in the day, in the centers. We are teaching the kids. I used to have kids till 4, 5 years old. I've been doing graduations every year with 8 kids every year. Last year, I have 4 kids. This year, I have only 2, 3 years old. Because parents are because they have the 4 years old on the universal ticket, now they feel like they are in a rush to get them into preschool. But we are preschool. We are providing our home for the kids. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I think there's a reality that we have to recognize, and that is the cost of living in this county is so high. So when a parent can move the child into TK and not be paying $3,000 or $4,000 a month, they're going to do that. So how do we make sure that you can continue to thrive and also make sure that there's the opportunities for the parents to move their children as they see fit? I mean, in the end, it's a choice the parents get to make, right? They should know that there's value in family daycare and there's value in center-based daycare, and but in the end, it's a choice that they get to make. So I think we have to recognize that as well. You want to close?
I just want to say thank you for being here. It is so important that we continue to hear these stories. Childcare is so important to not just our region, but in general. In order to participate in the innovation economy, you have to have somewhere to take your children. There are some problems that we need to solve when it comes to early children going into the school system early, but I think these questions are, hearing your stories will help us kind of navigate and look at what we need to solve. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for those who were vulnerable enough to let us look into what is really happening.
We really appreciate you being here. I think you can tell we're very committed to this effort. A child's brain doubles in size in the first year of life, and it's 80% of an adult brain by the year 3. So we've got to make sure that they have all of the opportunities and the resources they need. And I can tell you for many of our low-income families in this county, they desperately need childcare. So we have got to match you with them. That's part of our job moving forward. So again, thank you all for being here and for being so vulnerable in terms of telling your stories and sharing them with us. And for HR in San Mateo County, we have work to do. Thank you.
Thank you.